My topics are going to be who am I working with, why do I feel like this, and what can I do? First we have the poor communicator, someone who either talks too much, talks too little, or doesn't talk at all, and rather express how they feel emotionally, whether it be by faces or by gestures. Next we have the disrespectful person. Basically he's the bully, one who shows little to no etiquette, ones who are also easily jealous of someone else's success. Someone who's rigid is someone who hates change and they can't stand the fact that they rather have someone else do their kind of work. And we have the no common sense will reinventor. Someone who has really no common sense, always makes the same mistakes over and over and over, and they also take non-practical ways to get things done. And next we have the dysfunctional decision maker. Someone who either makes decisions too quick or someone who takes too long to make any decisions, and someone who doesn't make decisions at all and just waits to the last minute. Next we got the destroyer. Someone who falls into a meltdown. Someone who constantly yells and always wants their way, no one else's. The blamer, someone who has very low self-esteem and they go out of the way to find faults in someone else just to make themselves feel better. The logic pusher, basically, they replace feelings with facts. They're very cold and they're very black and white. The bait and switcher are really the seducers. They always use your feelings against you, and they always want you to do the work and they'll take the credit. The executive, they go by the philosophy, always trying to step on other people, just trying to get ahead. That means they rather take easy assignments and they hate sharing glory with other people. The peacock are the people who want to be the center of attention. They're very cocky, and they always have either the way they dress or they always have a story to tell. They need to be the center of attention. The self-proclaimed expert is it's the know-it-all. They hate being wrong, and they hate to be proven to be wrong because they will fight you tooth and nail just to prove them that they're the greatest. The accountability phobic are the ones that string you along, that make promises that they can't keep. The victim are the ones that easily get pushed around. They hate confronting other people. They hate making decisions, and they fall easily under pressure. And next we have the spoiled brat. The spoiled brat is basically a mixture of the executive and the victim. The only difference is that the spoiled brat hates doing work. They do everything they can just to avoid work. Basically, a perfect example of a spoiled brat is, does anyone watch The Office? Mm-hmm. Michael Scott. He is the perfect example of a spoiled brat. The tank, someone who's they're very loud, very aggressive, they're very pushy. The sniper are the ones you don't see coming. Whether it's a comment or a face that they make, they try to go out of their way to make you feel like a fool. And like I said, you don't see it coming, just like an actual sniper. The know-it-all is self-explanatory. They think they know it all. They like to exaggerate certain facts without actually doing actual research on it. And while like say 100 people may think he's an idiot, there might be one person in the audience think he's a genius. That's all they need. Just that one person to think he's a genius, and he'll just go with that. The yes man, they say yes just to avoid confrontation, and unfortunately they manage to forget other commitments that they have, because like I said, they go all the way to please people and avoid confrontations. The maybe person, someone who hates, doesn't really hate, but takes too long to make decisions, and they rather procrastinate and wait for a decision to fall into their lap. The nothing person are the quitters, the ones that just give up easily, the ones that also fall under pressure. And we have the no person, who are the perfectionists. They always find flaws in something, and they make people do things over and over and over until it's up to their standards. The whiner is basically someone who just moans and complains about everything that happens with them. So word of advice, if you're dealing with a whiner, prepare for one-sided conversations. And the grenade is someone who goes on a tangent, one who melts down and, like I say, goes on a tangent and starts actually bringing up other things that doesn't actually involve work, whether it be family life or something else. Next. Now we're going to deal with sexual harassment. 51% of people that have committed sexual harassment have been done by a coworker, while 43% was actually done by a manager. Now, 47% of known sexual harassment cases have been reported by women, while only a mere 21% have been reported by men. Now, there are 4 types of sexual harassment. There's the verbal/written, nonverbal, visual, and physical. Next. Now, I'm not going to go all out about anger because, I mean, we all get angry. We all know what the signs are for anger, whether it be a quick heartbeat, and aggressive behavior, and we know what causes it, whether they're being harassed at work or they face harsh criticism from co-workers, bosses, etc. But the main cause is mostly someone who's overworked and underpaid. Next. Now, depression is one of the top 3 problems in the workplace, next to family crisis and stress. Now, 8.1% of all employees that fall under administration and support staff actually have depression. And treatment costs more than heart disease, which is in the billions range. And unfortunately, most employees don't even know that they have depression, and 15% of known cases of depression have died from suicide, which is a number no one should be proud of. Next. Now, I listed all these because depression is actually one of the hardest conditions to recognize because we can't really see how a person thinks or how a person feels. So unfortunately, when it comes to depression, we might know someone is depressed until they do something drastic, whether they're actually talking about feelings of guilt, hopelessness, or they actually attempt suicide. Next. Now, sexual harassment, you can actually do something about it by telling someone. It may help you personally, but professionally, it may hurt you. Because I have read stories of people that had either been demoted or lost jobs because they quote-unquote snitched and they can't really be trusted. Or you can really do nothing at all, which doesn't really help the problem either because if you do nothing, that person might take it, the person who's doing the actual harassment might take it a step further, which means that they'll actually do something else or they do something far worse. Or someone else might start doing it. So you not only have one person harassing you, you have 2, maybe even 3. So unfortunately, whether you do something or you do nothing, when it comes to sexual harassment, it's a lose-lose situation. Next. Now I have steps on what you can do with dealing with certain situations. You can either stay and do nothing, which doesn't help anyone, and or you can vote with your feet, meaning walk away. It might help you, but it might not help the coworker. Or you can change your attitude, which means trying to adjust to them, to feel, to understand, and hopefully you can work with them. Or you could just change your behavior. It means just take them to the side, talk to them, let them know that you're doing something that's making you uncomfortable, and hopefully they'll understand and they will try to change. Now, anger, some people get angry for no reason at all sometimes, so it's best to explain it in writing so you can understand why you're angry. Also, working in a diverse environment means switch things up. Whether someone is working too much or working too little, try to switch it up. Change the environment. Switch seating arrangements. Add some color. Do anything. And try to address the problems before they get worse and recognize the symptoms. Now, some people may joke around with other coworkers while someone else who's not even involved in the scenario might feel a little uncomfortable. So it's best not to engage in any offensive behavior, no matter if that person who did get offended, who came offended by your behavior, wasn't involved. Next. Now, when it comes to depression, some businesses should start having medical professionals come in and teach a class about what depression actually is, and so you'll be able to recognize the signs. have some interventions and address sources that happens either in the workplace or out the workplace. Because the majority of depression mostly takes place outside of the workplace. Also established an employee advance program, because what they actually do, they provide different services to help people that, who's either dealing with not just depression but other medical problems. And some self-help programs can also help relieve depression, whether it's like businesses starting a nap time, doing community service, going on retreats. With businesses starting self-help programs, they actually know that depression can actually stop business productivity. Next. Sexual harassment. Just say no. If you feel like someone did something that made you uncomfortable, just take it to the side and say no. Tell them that you felt that what they did was offensive, and you really and you think they should really change their behavior. If that doesn't work, keep written records and report the harassment. Or you can actually go as far as filing a discrimination complaint with either your employment agency or the EEOC, which is the Equal Employee Opportunity Commission. And fortunately, we have a Pittsburgh office here, and I have the number for you guys. And what you can do is file a lawsuit. Filing a lawsuit can also not only help you win money damages, but it can also make certain changes to a business, certain policies, or they can help you get your job back or change things were before. Next. In conclusion, no one has the perfect co-workers. Everybody's going to work with someone that they can't stand, and you just want to take them to the side, beat them in the head with a 2x4. But you can actually do something about it. You actually have a voice, so use it. Look for the signs that I mentioned about certain people and certain situations. You actually have the power to make things better before you make things worse. Now, in these 3 folders here, I have some exercises for people to do.